Okay. All right. Testing. One, two, three. All right. Okay. Very good. Wait. I'm going to adjust a bit my screen. Okay. All right. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. All right. A very good day to every one of you out there. Okay. I just would love to share with you some tips for your SPM paper. Mainly, I'm going to focus on your paper three, which is your speaking paper. So this is like a refresher, okay, for all of you before sitting for your trial SPM, or perhaps later for your big exam, which is your SPM. Okay, all right. As you can see from the screens, there are four component papers of the SPM English exam, and the speaking exam is one of the four components. So each paper contributing an equal share to your overall marks. And the standard pair test takes only 30 minutes. So this is the shortest time among all papers. So times given include the time needed for the reading of rubrics, or maybe when you listening or when you hear the instruction from the interlocutor or the teachers. So bear in your mind that you have about less than 30 minutes to perform, and it will contribute to your overall English paper in SPM. So today I will mainly focus on speaking paper 3, right? Okay, all right. For the speaking components, all right, it consists of three parts which are designed to elicit a range of your speaking skill. Now, I need you to understand clearly, okay, what is going on with the speaking activity, because during your PDPR, you might do a lot of reading comprehension questions, and you also might do or write a lot of essays, but you might not do many speaking activities, or you might not do it at all. So for the speaking task again, we have three parts, which is your part one, part two, and part three. So the weightage is 25%. The maximum marks is 24 marks, and again, it is only 13 minutes. So please remember, by hook or by crooks, you have to speak within that 13 minutes. As you can see from the figure there, the small picture there, that is how you are going to sit while you are having your speaking test in your SPM. So the teacher will sit right in front of you. It is pair activity, so it will be the teacher will face two students, which is candidate A and candidate B, and you can notice there is one table there. Okay, it is for the assessor to sit one side near enough so that the assessor could see and hear everything clearly. Okay, all right. Here are our speaking components in paper 3. So, part 1, okay, is the interview part where the teacher is going to ask you maybe 3 to 4 questions. A simple question will be asked to you. Probably the teacher is going to ask about your general knowledge, your where you are required to answer a short answer or a short response. So the thing is, you should respond to the teacher. Okay, so in part 1, you are given the opportunity to give or to share your personal information and to respond appropriately. Apart from that, part 1 has two phases. Okay, the first phase is just a general introduction, and the second one is focused on a specific theme. For example, maybe about your daily routines, your activities, your simple, all the basic things. Okay, for the second part, we will have another individual session as well. But then this time around, it will be a bit longer where you need to respond or you have to explain a bit longer compared to part 1. So in part 2, again, you are given the opportunity to impart, which means to deliver or menyampaikan any information. To manage this course means that to connect or organize your ideas or organize what you are going to say through these independent long terms. And the last part is the discussion part where you are going to discuss with your friend, with your partner. So you are going to talk about a topic. Um, then you are going to come up with a decision that both of you uh, agree to. So part 3 is allotted a total of 4 to 5 minutes, and it has two distinct phases. Right, first one is students discussion and a follow-up discussion later will lead by the interlocutor. So firstly, you are going to speak together for about 2 minutes in a discussion prompted by a what we call that, by a mind map which present a central focus questions and surrounding ideas. After 2 minutes of students discussion, okay, the students are then given a further minute to make a decision, okay, to make a decision connected to the themes of the task. Okay, then later the teacher will ask a further discussion question based on the same theme, and the students have another 2 minutes to answer. Okay, next is, all right. Okay, this is just for you to know. Okay, this is the assessment criteria used in your SPM speaking test. So it is derived from the CEFR A2 C1 levels. So you can see we have A1 up to C2. So the range of your marks you are going to be assessed based on A2 until C1 criteria or C1 level. Okay, this one later perhaps you can ask your English teacher if you want to know more about it. So I'm not going to focus on it. Okay, next slide would be, all right, next slide is, okay, so I would love again to share with you the assessment of your speaking task. So the teachers, your teacher, will refer only to this skill when managing the test. So for the first skill is called overall spoken performance. So the key features of overall performance in these descriptors are you can understand questions and instruction without any problem. You can ask and respond to complex and abstract topics. And you can maintain and develop the interaction between you and your partner. And you only require very little prompting. Okay, so you have to bear in mind the overall spoken performance is the only marks given by your interlocutor or the one who will be sitting right in front of you during the exam. Okay, for the assessor, okay, they are going to assess you based on these three skills, all right? Grammar, vocabulary, and your communicative competence. Okay, grammar, it refers to your ability to communicate accurately with control of grammatical structure and the ability to link all your ideas together using cohesive devices. All right. So you must need to maintain a high degree of accuracy if you want to get full marks for your grammar. So for vocabulary, okay, it refers to your ability again to use vocabulary in order to convey or to deliver your meaning. So the choice of words is really important, okay, when you want to speak on certain things. Okay, that is why if you notice in your download textbook, every unit there are some exercises for your vocabulary. Because why? Okay, they wanted you to familiar with all those words and you could use it later when you are having your speaking task. All right, for the last skill, which is your communicative competence, okay, in order for you to get full marks for this part, you should be able to express spontaneously without difficulties, meaning to say that you have to speak very fluently. You can start, you can maintain, you can elaborate and close a conversation effortlessly. Maksudnya benda tu is just like your nature, alright? So you can speak well without any hesitation, and also you can relate effectively to your partner. Okay, you should be able to produce naturally flowing speech in order for you to get full marks. So altogether, 6 times 4 equal to 24 marks. So every sub skills there, 6 marks is the maximum marks that the teacher or the assessor can give to you. Okay, here again is the scoring skills in details. Okay, you may refer to your teacher later for further understanding, as I am not going to focus on it. Okay, it's just for you to refer how you are going to get full marks for grammar, vocab, and communicative competence, and also for your overall spoken performance. All right, next. Okay, here is the template. Okay, going your teachers going to have this kind of template maybe for them to record all your marks. So I just want to share with you that the speaking template, so that you know this is a serious examination that you are going to face sooner or later. So please give your very best while you are doing this task. Speaking test ni sama pentingnya macam kertas-kertas English yang lain. So again, speaking means you have to speak. You don't just sit there and remain silent. No, that is not the way. So if you want to remain silent, all right, you wait until you are sitting for your writing and for your reading task. Okay, and bear in mind that all papers are compulsory for you to take. You cannot miss any papers for your SPM. All right, so now in detail, okay, what do we have in part 1? Okay, for the first part, the task that you've got to do that is your teacher will ask you questions. Okay, the teacher might ask you some general information about yourself, maybe about your hobby, about your future plan, about your past experience. So the time allocation for part 1 is only 3 to 4 minutes for both of you, I mean for you and for your friends. Okay, I don't think 3 to 4 minutes is too long, right? So there is about 1 minute for each one of you. Okay. Since this is the first part, okay, since in real SPM, since this is the first part and the first time that you are going to meet your interlocutor or your assessor, please don't forget to greet them. Okay, it is not a must, but it shows that you respect all the teachers in that hall. All right, next. Okay, so what are those tips? Okay, the most important tips that you need to know that when you listen to your teacher, all right, asking you question, or when later you will look at the questions, for part 1, you are not going to receive any booklet. All right, you just need to listen to the question given by the teacher. So you have to understand the task. Secondly, you need to speak clearly and correctly as well. So be very careful with your basic subject verb agreement when you have to put s at the end of the verb or say it clearly. And the most important and crucial part is you have to respond to the teacher. For example, okay, if let's say the teacher asks you what is your hobby, try to respond in simple sentence. Maybe you can just say my hobby is watching television. I know some of you can give a very good sentence, can give a full sentence with subject and verb correctly, but there are students who cannot produce a very simple sentence. So my advice is try to give one sentence so that the teacher could understand what you are trying to tell them. At least you are responding to them. Okay, the problem is when you do not respond at all. Okay, try to speak. That's why it's called a speaking activity because you need to speak. All right. Please remember you are not allowed to bring any pen or to jot down anything. You are going to sit there and think what you are going to answer. Think about a few points, not only one or two points, maybe, and elaborate or explain a bit for part one and try to use simple connectors. Maybe you can use your fanboys there. So, as I said it earlier, I'm giving you some sort like a refresher for you to understand it again. Maybe some of you have done this in your school, or maybe some of you always do speaking activities, but this some sort like a refresher what is the format and what you are supposed to do. All right. So other than that, all right, here are some additional notes. Right, you can see them. Okay, the task is part one is the easiest task. Okay, so you are expected to present factual information about yourself, talk about present circumstances. You can express opinions and explain and give reason. Okay. So for this task, you should focus on the use of simple present tense, adverbs of frequency for your grammar, and for your vocab. All right, you should be able to talk about your daily routine or free time activities. And be short and precise while answering this part since long elaborations is not needed for this task. All right, get yourself comfortable with the interlocutor, with the teacher in front of you, as the interaction, okay, for this part will only involve you and the teacher. All right, so do not interact yet with your partner. All right, you can request the interlocutor or the teacher to repeat the questions if you need more time to understand what has been asked. Okay, this is an example how part 1 look like. There are two phases there. General questions about your name, maybe your where do you live, and one or two question on specific questions, but still it is related to you directly. So you don't have time. There is no what we call that. You are awak tak ada masa untuk fikir.
because benda tu memang awak dah tahu, memang benda yang ada dalam diri awak.
So this is for part 1. Okay. Now we move to part 2. Okay. Part 2 for Alright, for part 2 in speaking task, it is again an individual task. So both of you are going to speak and it will be longer, where you have two different set of questions. You are not going to get the same question like your partner. So this time you can speak longer compared to the first part. The topic could be about your past or your present, and or the question might ask you to explain about something and you have to give reason. Perhaps you have to describe about people, places, or situations. And other than that, it could be about any events. Okay. So these questions also want you to express and justify your opinion. And the time allocation is 3 to 4 minutes, and then 1 minute for each student. Okay, meaning to say dalam masa 4 minit, 1 minit kawan awak, 1 minit awak, 20 second for both of you to brainstorm what you are going to say, and then a few second left is for the teacher to ask you one question, then you have to answer. All right. And again, you are not allowed to bring any stationery during the speaking test. Okay, you only things what you are going to say. That's why I always encourage my student to read a lot. Okay, uh, maybe you can watch any English news or read newspaper to know what is happening around you. Okay, and by doing so you can actually deliver a very good points. You know what you want to say because you have that kind of knowledge. And I hope you are very clear with part 2. Okay, you are going to get two different sets of questions. Okay, when your friends is explaining his or her topic, then once he or she finishes, the teacher will ask one question to you. Okay, and after that you are going to get another set of questions for you. Is for you, I mean, that's your turn for you to explain. And once you finish, your friend will answer one question from the teacher. All right, next. All right, so again, the tip for part 2. All right. As for the speaking tips, you have again understand the task because the time is longer. There are more questions there, so you need to understand the question while you read the question. You need to have your points in right. I mean, when you read, you can straight away. I mean, you can straight away prepare what you are going to say. Okay, prepare at least 1 to 3 points for each bullet questions given them. And again, you are not allowed to write anything at all. Speak clearly. As long as you talk about all the points given, you elaborate and you have to speak clearly. Respond to the teacher one whole sentence, and please do not just say one word, okay? You can try to use connectors again. Uh, just go all out and respond to the teachers and do not keep quiet. So my advice again, you need to practice again and again. And I know all of you will be nervous. Some of you might be panicked because you will be doing this because it's not like you are doing it with your teacher. However, practice makes perfect. Try to calm yourself. I know you will stammer, you will stumble with words, and what you have to do is try to remain calm, try to think of words. Okay, please remember whatever that you are going to do, whether it is listening, speaking, or reading, or writing, please do your best. Okay, so this is the reason why during class, when your teacher calling your names, asking questions, you keep quiet and it won't help you at all. Okay, uh, because it is the right time when you are having your PDPR, when your teacher asks you to respond, you just respond. It is in a way a good practice for you, for your speaking. All right. So do a lot of reading exercises from your textbook. All right. Okay. Next. Right. Wait. Okay. Sorry, my kids, for the interruption. All right. Next is, all right. This is the thing that you should know. You are expected to give information, talk about your own experiences, whether in past, present, or future, explain and give reason, express and justify your opinions, avoid from giving short answers. Elakkan dari beri jawapan yang pendek-pendek. Try to elaborate when you respond to the teacher or to the interlocutor. Don't worry, because for part two, you will be provided with a booklet that contains the task for this part. So make sure you fully understand what is expected for you. You can ask the teacher if you are not sure, but still don't expect the teachers to explain in details what you have to do. All right, I'm going to show you. All right, this is one example, part two, speaking practice one. Okay, talking about learning other languages, give one or two sentences to explain each point. There are three things that you have to explain. So each question there, maybe you can give one or two sentences. What other language you would like to learn? Where can you practice the language? And the benefits of learning other languages. So when you read the question, you know when it's come to the benefits there, it is not only one. It requires you to give more than one benefit. All right. This one is example. Okay, ini contoh. kalau booklet ni soalan ni untuk student A. Then later, after student A finish explaining, the teacher will ask related question to student B. Soalan yang ditanya tak ada tak akan sama dengan soalan dalam booklet ni, tapi dalam tema yang sama. Okay. After that, student B will get a new booklet, another set of question. Okay. Example here, talk about a popular holiday destination. Again, give one or two sentences to explain each point. The bullets are, first one, name a country you would like to visit. Number two, reasons for your choice. Number three, two items that you should bring and why. So after student B finish explaining, then the teacher again will ask one question to student A. Alright, but don't worry, when the teacher asks you that question, it is not like the one in that booklet. It will be a very simple question for you to answer. Okay, now is the last part, which is your part 3. Okay, so what is part 3 all about? Okay, in part 3, okay, what do we have is you are given the opportunity to impart or to convey and exchange information and opinion through collaboration and negotiation with each other. Okay, meaning to say, masa part 3 ni lah awak akan berinteraksi bersama kawan awak. Part 1, part 2, no. Part 1 between you and the interlocutor. Part 2 as well between you and the interlocutor, which is your teacher. So the task is on discussion where you are going to discuss with your friend. Okay, discuss means you talk, you and your friend will discuss about a topic. So there will be two phases here in part 2. Ada dua fasa dekat sini dalam part 2. Alright. What is it? You have to talk about the topic for 3 minutes. Discuss with your friend about the topic for 3 minutes. That the first phase. Okay. Fasa pertama is discussion. Discussion awak dengan kawan awak. Right, between you and your friends. And right after that, in the second phase, within that 3 minutes, you need to make a decision. Awak kena buat satu keputusan bersama. You have to make a decision together. So you need to come up with a decision. Decision means you wrap your point and then you choose one good point. Do it together. So both of you must agree to that one point. Okay, for example, okay, you may, all right, you can or you will start or you can begin your dialogue by saying, okay, okay, we have decided that this is the points based on the question, this is the best points that we choose. Okay, and the reason why we think that is the best point according to the question, then you state your reason. Both of you need to respond to the teachers. What is the best reason out of the 6 points there? So please remember, you need to come up with a decision. The time allocation will be 4 to 5 minutes and preparation again only 20 seconds. You just look at the question, you read, and then you prepare for 20 seconds what you are going to elaborate on the point. Okay, there will be 6 point, it's up to you how you are going to divide that points. Okay, and of course, do not keep quiet. If you one of you will remain silent, there is no way of discussion. Kalau awak senyap, macam mana kawan awak yang sebelah ni nak buat discussion? So you have to discuss together, talk with your friend, talk to one another, and remember, you are not doing your presentation to the teacher. You are talking to your friend. So the eye contacts, how you face your friend is also important. Okay? All right. Next is, all right, tips for part 3. Part 3, okay. Part 3, alright, you have to understand, you have to elaborate on the content points, respond to the teacher after you finish your discussion. And when you are doing your discussion with your friends, please use proper words. Even though when you are talking, uh, because sometimes when you talk to your friends, okay, you tend to use some formal language, which is that is not the place for you to use it. Okay, so please remember again, this is a speaking test. So you have to speak and speak and speak. And don't worry too much on this, okay? Because you still have time to practice on how you are going to keep the interaction going. All right, these are the things that you should know. All right, the tasks require both candidates or both of you to discuss with each other. So you are expected uh, to have an interaction. Okay, so you are expected to explain and give reason, exchange information and opinion, express and justify your opinions, negotiate, to agree or maybe to disagree with one another, make and respond to suggestions, and discuss all the alternative there, if possible. Okay, so make sure you respond to each other politely. It is okay to disagree with your partner, but it must be done appropriately. Bukan sepanjang masa you have to agree with your friend's opinion. Okay, so you will be provided a booklet for you to look at the question. Okay, and you should practice from now on to apply the function and grammar, especially from your textbook. Okay, if okay, we will go to that part later. All right, next one would be, all right, this one, an extra tips for you for part 3. Okay, all right, you must practice it. If you find it useful to you, you can practice it. If you are good enough, then it's good for you. Okay, first, number one, talk about each option. As I mentioned earlier, ada 6 bullet points there. It's not bullet point, it's in a bubble map. All right, talk about each point or every idea or the 6 point, perhaps if you still have time. uh, awak kena ingat duration dia tak lama. You will have a timekeeper for you to time out. Okay, perhaps by including advantages or disadvantages or any relevant information to all the points there. And number two, decide which idea you agree to choose it together and give reason why it is the best. Okay, ingat, lepas discuss, you have to decide. Decide ni by hook or by crook, you have to choose the same point. Awak tak boleh nak buat kepala sendiri, awak pilih ni, awak pilih ini. No, that is not the way. Okay, so you have to decide together which one that you are going to choose. Okay, next one, use suitable phrases to say what you think. Okay, for example, maybe you can say that I think or I don't think your idea is good, or maybe I feel that your idea is not that good. Maybe we can do this or do that. All right, and also use suitable phrases to express preference. For example, bila awak nak nyatakan mana satu yang awak lagi suka, or maybe you want to say that mana yang lebih awak berkenan, prefer, berkenan di hati, maybe you can say that, okay, personally I would prefer to have this point instead of yours. Okay, example. And remember, avoid the discussion becoming like explaining the ideas. Okay, dekat sini awak kena berhati-hati sebab saya rasa I still can find most of my students they are not having a lot of phrases in between, because it looks like they are explaining the ideas. They do not converse or communicate with one another. Dia kena nampak ada macam satu perbualan, bukannya satu penerangan tau. Awak kena ada is either awak agree, awak disagree. Okay, and dia kena ada interaction. Okay, maybe you are stuck there somewhere, maybe your friend can ask you, then you can answer back. And maybe you wanted to ask your friends, then your friend can answer back as well. So kena ada perbincangan yang perbincangan macam itulah untuk discussion. Okay, kalau awak explaining, itu macam awak, it's like that you are doing your presentation to your friend. Okay, your friend just listen and then that's it. No, that is not the way. Okay, so another reminder is make the discussion lively by disagreeing politely, showing interest, or asking for opinion, giving a reason, and make a suggestion. All right. Here is one example. All right, let's see what is the example we have. Okay, all right. As I said, dia akan beri kamu soalan dalam bentuk bubble map macam gini, ada 6 point. So you have to explain macam mana awak nak berebut point tu during that 20 second. Dalam masa 20 saat, maybe awak boleh, okay, book lah. Awak boleh main cop-cop lah kan. Okay, saya nak ni, saya nak ni, saya nak ni. Okay, that's it. Jangan sampai bertumbuk nak pilih-pilih awak punya point tu. Okay, so again, tolong ingat, when you start the conversation, okay, when you start the discussion, one point at one time. Do not mention all 3 points at once. No. Because why? When you mention all the 3 points at once, there will be no more discussion. So awak kena take turn. Okay, maybe you take, the question is ways to help the homeless. Maybe you take the first one. The first way you said that I think that we can raise fund and awareness to the community to help those homeless. Do you agree with me? All right. Or what is your opinion? Then baru kawan awak student B tu masuk point kedua. Then after that stop there, then come back to you. Kena ada interaction between your friends and you. And bear in mind, you are not doing your presentation to your friend. It is a conversation, it is a discussion. After finish all the points within the time given, okay, if let's say the time is, I mean, you don't have enough time to explain, then it's okay. But still, you must decide out of six which one is the best. Okay, all right. Next is okay. All right. You can refer to your textbook as well at towards the end of your textbook, if I'm not mistaken. Ada banyak phrases yang sangat bermanfaat untuk awak praktis. Kadang-kadang point awak tu nampak kurang bijak sebab awak tak tahu nak cakap, awak stuck. But somehow when you are familiar with all these phrases, how to start, how to end, how to ask, how to answer, how to agree, how to disagree, in a way, benda tu juga boleh membantu awak mendapat markah. Okay, don't make it make your conversation alive. Jangan terlampau too plain. Because why? Because I rasa nanti without this kind of phrases, you come up with your own phrases which is very straightforward. Lama-lama orang yang bagi markah tu pun bosan nak dengar. So try to practice this. I'm not asking you to memorize all. No. At least 2 to 3 phrases from each topic there. Okay. We have how you are going to sequence your ideas. Macam mana nak linkkan ideas from one to one. Okay. Next, how you are going to give example. How you are going to justify your opinion. Okay. How you are going to give advice or say what you think, or how you are going to agree. Ada banyak contoh dekat situ. Awak bolehlah silap balik buku teks. Tengok ada one page there. Start practicing doing it. Okay, tolong practice dari sekarang untuk guna pakai to start your conversation, to help you. It is really helpful. Sangat berguna benda tu. Okay, especially for those weak students. Because I know sometimes you stuck there, stuck here. This is where the phrases comes to help you. Okay, dia bukan letak dalam what you call that, dalam buku teks tu hanya untuk hiasan semata-mata ya. So you have to practice using it. Alright, next one, what do we have? Let's see. Okay, I think this is the last part. Alright, speaking study tips. Okay, my student often ask me what can they do to improve their English quickly. Okay, there is no quick action. Okay, it takes time for you, but still you still have times actually. Okay, try the tips below and maybe you will be surprised just how quickly your English can improve. Okay, firstly, study regularly. It is better for you to spend 30 minutes every day than 2 hours once a week. Baik awak spend 30 minit sehari for that English part daripada awak spend 2 jam 1 minggu. No. Benda tu kena berlaku setiap hari. Okay, next. listen to the radio, and watch some English TV every day. Read newspapers, novel, blogs, and magazine. You will learn lots of new vocabulary. Okay. All right. Next, and common expression. Other than that, speak English outside the classroom. For example, if you live, kalau awak duduk, duduk berdekatan, okay, if you live with friend who speak the same language as you, try to make an arrangement to speak English. For example, maksudnya dalam sehari tu mungkin awak kadang-kadang terserempak dengan dia ke, tak boleh lah terserempak during COVID, no. Find a way lah. Okay. Uh, because every little bit of practicing speaking will help. Next one, maybe you can have your dictionary with you all around. You can carry here and there for you to check. It is never too late to start with a diary or a notebook which you can write a little English every day, because this will help you to practice all the tenses in writing. You can do this slowly and use your grammar books and dictionaries to help. Start a vocabulary notebooks and write down all the new words you learn each day. If let's say you see any interesting words or expression, maybe you can share it to your friends or to your teachers. They will be gladly to know that you know that. And please don't be afraid to ask if you don't understand something or you need help with your pronunciation. And other than that is you can record yourself actually on your smartphone. You have your smartphone, it's not record yourself. You can use your voice note there on your smartphone, on your tablet, to hear what you sounds like. Awak record, awak dengar balik, awak rasa macam awak sendiri pun nak tergelak, maksudnya adalah benda tak kena tu. So you can start practicing and keep on practicing. Okay. All right. Next one is, okay, I think that's it from me. I guess that's all for our revision on paper 3. So I hope all of you out there can score good marks in all papers, not only paper 3. Okay, and again, for speaking paper, all you need to do is only to speak, speak, and speak. Tak payahlah nak buat pensel ke apa, no. So, bercakap lah. Dari 13 minit tu, I think is all dari 13 minit tu hanya 6 minit saja saya rasa untuk awak bercakap. Okay. Alright, my last advice is try to record yourself again on your smartphone or tablet to hear what you sound like, so you know what areas of pronunciation and intonation that you need to work on. Practice to use any phrases from the speaking bank in your daily life until you really comfortable to use it naturally. And that's it. So all the best, kids. Good luck for your trial exam and for your SPM later. And stay safe as well. Okay. Alright. I think I will stop sharing now. Alright. So I think that's it. See you in the next session. Bye.